Sadhguru Jagi Vasudev is a realized master, mystic, and yogi. He has shown the way for people to attain to their natural joy and to live life with experience from one's own inner nature. His presence is filled with grace and compassion. Sadhguru's scientific approach towards spirituality and work towards the upliftment of humanity have received accolades worldwide. The words that come from him in intensity and utmost clarity, from his deep understanding and wisdom, can change the very core of the being. Belonging to no particular tradition, Sadhguru incorporates what is most valid for the modern person from the spiritual sciences. His work, an outpouring of his blissfulness, finds expression in the form of a ceaseless offering to help all beings. Available to all who are willing, Sadhguru's life is an invitation to the divine through individual transformation. Welcome to the silent revolution of self-realization.
हे देवी अति महिमा युते श्री शांभवी सदा रौद्रवदन युत मूर्ते स्वीकुरु मां तव निस्सीम करुणा कटाक्षे.
If you transform mud into food, we call this agriculture. If you make food into flesh and bone, we call this digestion, integration. If you can make this flesh, or even a stone, or even an empty space, into a divine possibility, that is called consecration. If you want to know this dimension, you need devotion in your heart. One who earns the grace of Bhairavi neither have to live in concern or fear of life or death, of poverty or failure. All that human being considers as well-being will be his if only he earns the grace of Bhairavi.
I didn't even know the meaning of what consecration was.
We saw Sadhguru in a different dimension altogether.
Really understood what it is to be with Sadhguru.
It's something beyond my intelligence.
I'm very lucky to be a part of it.
He almost for me was an expectant mother.
I never experienced my life like this.
right now we are establishing a garbha for the Devi. The garbha is what is standing in front of me right now. This is a triangular container made of brass with a rasarandhra in the center, which you will see when you go if you're close to it. The garbha is… the word garbha literally means the womb. The essential nature of the feminine, what sets the feminine apart from the masculine is the womb. A woman is a man with a womb, that's why she's a woman. By setting up a backup garbha or a womb, she will never fail to deliver. Not delivering babies, but to deliver humanity. So the garbha is a 33-inch by 33-inch, a 33-inch equilateral triangle with a rasarandhra in the center, which will take in solidified mercury. She's feminine, she's a woman. So your logical understanding of what it is not going to work anyway. If you want to have a taste of this, you have to sit here for the next 3 days and woo her with all your heart. Otherwise, you'll just get the smoke. Because your mind cannot settle without understanding something of her. You know, we are in 21st century today. You want to meet and know your woman before you commit yourself, and you realize after 30 years, anyway you don't know her. So you want to know, so we will talk about that later. Right now there are things to do. To tell you frankly, I would like to do this with a handful of people in privacy. That's the best way to do it. But I do not know in my life if I'll once again get to do something like this. So I thought I should share it with as many people as possible. So we are taking the risk of including you. So you be here like myself. Don't be here like spectators. Don't be here analyzing what is this, what is that, because anyway you can't figure, okay? It's not going to make any sense to you, there is no sense to it. I want you to know this. You just participate, like a festival, enjoy yourself, be with it. It's another kind of power, it's a completely different dimension of life. It's a different kind of phenomena than anything that you have ever known in your life. For most people, most human beings, when they come to a point in their life, a situation in their life where all their tricks fail, all their grand experience of life seems to be useless and they don't know what to do, they think it's a disaster. No, it's not a disaster. If you come to a situation where your tricks have failed, all your experiences come to naught, that means you have come to a new possibility. That's what it means. But most human beings would think that it's disastrous because they don't know what to do and all their learning and experience has failed. Your learning, your experience, your understanding, your logic, your smartness, everything is going to fail if you try to use it. This is not something that you do. Divine is not something that you go in search of. You only search for those who are lost, the lost ones, or a thief. You don't search for the divine. Divine is not lost. It is you who is lost. A lost one cannot search. He can only be wait to be found. So if you have to be found, one thing that you can do is just be bright and shining, hope you'll be found. In this country, in ancient India, there used to be a ritual or a certain process of life which was known as Swayamvar. A princess wants to find a husband. So everybody who thinks they are eligible, everybody thinks, they all come, dressed in their best, bright and shining, just hoping they will be chosen. You cannot choose. Now we are not dealing with a princess, we are dealing with a goddess, so you cannot choose. Just be bright and shining, hope she will choose you. That's the way it works. That may not be very satisfying for a macho, somebody who wants a go-getter. You can't go-get this. If you are sitting there bright and shining, you may be chosen. So, this whole process is a very core form of femininity. The craziest woman you ever met, if you met a lot of crazy ones, this is the craziest one. Anything that does not fit into your logic seems crazy to you. Anything that defies your understanding generally gets dismissed as crazy. So this is the craziest of the craziest. There cannot be anybody crazier than this, because this is core femininity. So is it absurd? No. Feminine is not absurd, nor is it logical. It is just that in the last probably 1500 or little more than 2000 years, particularly 2 to 2500 years, the world has been so ruled by patriarchal systems of society that unless something is logical, it has to be dismissed as no good. We want to take you back to India that was little over 3 to 4,000 years ago, where everything was matriarchal society. The whole country was matriarchal. Till the Aryan invasions happened, the whole country was matriarchal, feminine ruled. There was no single street or village which did not have a goddess temple in this country. Even today, this is true with South India. In North you kill her. In South India even today, there is not a single village without an Amman temple. There's not a single village without a goddess of their own. I want you to know this, of their own. And this is not limited to India. All the great civilizations on the planet, Egyptian, Crete, Mesopotamian, every one of them were goddess worshippers. It is only when very aggressive patriarchal systems, which were essentially created by nomadic tribes whose only way to exist was by aggression, they created those kind of cultures and they spawned those kind of religions, and slowly feminine worship was banished and burnt out of the world. India is still the only country where the worship of the feminine is still a live process. Everywhere else it's just in the history books, in the archival material. But it is here alive still. we want to revive it in a powerful way, because just operating this world by intellect, which knows only how to cut and peel and look into everything. If you ask your intellect how to know my mother, it will say, let us dissect her. That's all your intellect can say. Intellect wants to cut everything and see. It is time. There is enough intellect on the planet, there is enough food, financial, in spite of the recession, the world is more financially and food stable than ever before. That survival process can be relaxed. Never before we could do this. 100, 200 years ago, we couldn't have done this. For the first time, we've reached a place on this planet where we can take our survival process easy because it's pretty organized. In fact, if we activate and revive feminine culture, there is enough food for everybody to eat and they will get to eat. Right now there is enough food for everybody to eat, but they will not get to eat because conquest is the attitude of the whole planet. I'm particularly very concerned because women are also becoming conquerors. That is a sure annihilation of the feminine. So, Bhairavi is a powerful, fierce form of femininity. Last 10.5 months, we have been bearing her. By tomorrow night, all of you willing, even if you're not willing, we'll deliver her, but you have the fortune of doing some midwifery. You know what a midwife means? A wife delivers. A midwife is halfway wife. Her role is just for a few hours, but still she's a halfway wife because her role is so significant. So, we will bear her, but you must do some midwifery. Midwifery needs absolute attention and care. If you're here like a midwife, you will have the joy of holding her in your hands.
जगत्सूते नाथा हरिनवति रुद्र शमयते तिरस्कुर्वन्नेक स्वममिव पुरीशस्ते रयति सदा पूर्वः सर्वं तदिदमनुगृह्णाति च शिवा जपोजल्पक्षेपं सकलमपि मुद्रा विरचन जपोजल्पक्षेपं सकलमपि मुद्रा विरचन गतिप्रादक्षिण्य क्रमणमशनाद्याहुति विधिः
So there will be three basic processes going on in these next 3 days. One is cleansing and purification. Another is stimulation. Without the needed stimulation, nothing happens in the existence. Starting from the very fundamental of creation, where today modern science is talking in one way, just the language is different, of how even on vacuum states, if you apply some electromagnetic energy, if you apply an electromagnetic force not into the vacuum chamber, even somewhere around, suddenly this absolute nothingness will start throwing out particles of creation in terms of what is today referred to as virtual protons and virtual neutrons. So here, the same fundamentals of creation. We are not such dry people. See, we are red. So, we see it this way, Shiva, the word Shiva essentially means that which is not or that which is absolutely still. This absolute stillness, when Shakti comes in place, he comes alive in the form of creation. Starts off as a roar, starts off as Rudra. Well, you know, scientists have been talking about a bang, one big one. Now they're going back on that and they're saying there have been many bangs, series of bangs. If you ever driven a motorcycle or a car without the silencer, without the manifold, you will see it'll come bang, 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 bang. But if you throttle up, it'll roar. So roar is a composite expression of many bangs. So we said the first form in which Shiva rose was as a Rudra, he roared. Series of bangs happened. Because Shakti came and played around him, suddenly what was absolute stillness broke open into a roar. So, the first act of creation was that of Shakti's, not of Shiva's. The basis of creation is Shiva, but the first act of creation is from Shakti. So from this basis, many things have evolved. Many sages and seers, yogis and siddhas have opened many windows into this knowing, opened up many dimensions of knowing and experience. So windows is not a new phenomena. And the third phenomena is contact. So if you come in contact with a dimension which was the cause of creation, within you and outside of you, Om essentially means a life-making factory. And this whole existence is life-making factory on different levels. So here, we see the whole existence as the womb of the Devi. So when you come in contact with that dimension, which is the very source of your creation, either you can melt and merge with it, you can become one with it, or you can sit and watch like a spectator. That I leave it to you. But these 3 steps we want to take in the next 2 days that we have. If this has to be known, it's… the only way is to yield to life, not to get life. There is a beautiful story. It's late in the night, can I still tell you a story? Once upon a time… Are you still there? I want to hear the roar. These are yogi koans. You heard of Zen koans? The yogi koans are thousands of years older than the Zen koans. There are 64 of them. I don't know how many Zen ones are there, does anybody know? How many? How many Zen koans? No? Good, you don't know. That means you're not corrupted. These are yogi koans. The Zen koans are designed and structured to frustrate you. The Zen koans are essentially designed to crack the mind. Everybody knows there is no answer, but you must keep trying and trying and trying, and one day your mind will break. But the yogic koans are not designed to break your mind. The yogic koans were designed to give a break in the creation, to open a small window for you. So I'm putting the story to you. It's a puzzle story. On a certain day, the 2 wives of Vishnu, Lakshmi and Alakshmi. Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, the goddess of misfortune. Both of them came up and both of them believed they are the most beautiful. And so they came and asked Vishnu, which one of us is the most beautiful? So what should Vishnu say? The question is for the ladies also. Huh? What?
Either way he's doomed.
Then he'll lose both. If he says both of you are equally beautiful, he'll lose both. It's better to lose one at least. Vishnu said to Lakshmi, when you are coming, you are the most beautiful. And he told Alakshmi, when you are going, you are the most beautiful. So fortune is coming, misfortune is going. Aren't they most beautiful? Now, oh, that's a smart answer. But what is the correct answer? Who is really beautiful? This is a masculine problem. They want to know who is really beautiful. It is not just about a woman's beauty, About anything in the existence, there is no correct answer. There is only appropriate answer. This is an appropriate answer. Life is not about correctness. Life is about appropriateness. So right now you're here sitting in the temple. What is the correct thing to do? There's no correct thing to do. What is the appropriate thing to do? Only then you receive life. If you do correct things, you'll make an utter idiot of yourself. If you start thinking what is correct, you will either become an atheist or a theist. Atheists are utter idiots. Theists are supreme idiots. Both are correct, that's the problem. If one start looking for correctness of life, you become barren, empty. Life is essentially in its appropriateness. So your goodness will not do. She just doesn't care for your goodness, has no morals. She doesn't value your morals, your ethics, your principles. If you want to know this dimension, you need devotion in your heart. Devotion is a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. Devotees always look crazy. Look at you. When the whole world is going about doing their business, look at you wearing red and sitting like this. Devotion is definitely a crazy thing. If you want to know her, you need aliveness, you need exuberance of life, you need madness of devotion. I'm insisting on madness because your very existence here, the nature of who you are here, without knowing the fundamentals of where you come from, where you go, what is the nature of your existence, your understanding of the existence and yourself is quite insane, actually. Today, modern science is proving this to you, that what you see is not true, what you hear is not true, what you touch is not true, what you sense is not true. Nothing that you're experiencing right now is the way it is. This is not philosophy. This is established science today. So if everything that you think you know is not true, and you're quite confident about what you're doing with yourself, I think that's quite some insanity. So insanity is not a new thing to you. I am only talking about making it into a joyful, beautiful process. Anyway, you're insane. Why don't we make it into a joyful insanity? Why make it into a struggling insanity? Why make it into a miserable insanity? You know, among the crazies, some are laughing and joyful, not a moment of stress in their life, totally happy, always laughing. If you laugh for no reason, people think you're crazy. Yes? Yes, sir? Nobody say he's crying like crazy. People say he's laughing like crazy. Devotion is that which is devoid of you. Devotion is not a love affair. Love itself is a crazy thing, but there are shreds of sanity attached to it. You can still recover. In devotion, there is no shred of sanity. There is no way to recover. When I say devotion, I am not talking about belief systems. You believe something. No. Belief is just like morality. People who believe some nonsense, they think they're superior to others. The moment you believe something, you doesn't get any better. It is just that your stupidity gets confident. Confidence and stupidity are a very dangerous combo. Should never have them together, you know. But generally they are together. So, devotion is not about believing. So should I believe all this? This Shiva, this Shakti, this Devi, this Bhairavi, should I believe all this? No, I'm not talking about belief. I'm talking about moving into trust. So, how can I trust? The fact that you're sitting here comfortably or not, that's trust. Because, you know, there have been incidents where earth has opened up and swallowed people. There have been incidents where pieces of sky has fallen and people have been crushed to death. There have been situations the very air that you breathe has turned against you. There have been situations where whole groups of people have been poisoned in the Ganji that they drink. What did you have in it? I'm assuming Ganji because I'm on Ganji, I'm thinking everybody's on Ganji. So, you're anyway trustful unconsciously. You're trustful unconsciously, unlovingly. I'm talking about being trustful consciously, lovingly. That's devotion. Anyway, for you to walk on this round planet, which is spinning at a tremendous speed, traveling at a tremendous speed, the whole damn solar system, we don't know at what speed it's traveling, we don't know at what speed the damn galaxy is traveling. For you to sit here, smile, listen to somebody talking, you need trust. Enormous trust, isn't it? But you're doing it unconsciously, unlovingly. Just learn to do this trust consciously, lovingly, that's devotion. Once you learn to sit here consciously, lovingly, trusting the existence the way it is, not knowing which way it is spinning. Do you know whether it's going this way or this way? Suppose the Mother Earth decides to spin this way, maybe you'll fly off from this temple right now. You don't know. See, we are doing all this churning. All this churning, you don't know if it… you don't know what all these yogic tantric processes can do. You always heard they could do miraculous things. Suppose it reverses the turn. See, you are very trustful. Just learn to do this trust consciously, lovingly, that's devotion. Devotion is not fantasy. Devotion is not belief system. Devotion is the sweetest way to be in the existence. A devotee has the sweetest experience of life. Everybody may think he's an idiot, but he's having the best time on the planet. A devotee is a different level of intelligence. So there is a certain intrinsic intelligence in life. A bird, a young bird, for the first time, it is full with eggs, first time, no experience behind. did not go to any school as to how to engineer a nest. You know, did not go to any engineering college as to how to engineer a nest, because a nest is not simple engineering. If you have watched how it is built, with what kind of material, what human beings, the very most intelligent people on the planet are struggling to come up with something eco-friendly and seriously failing. This brilliant engineering, nobody thought, but the moment it is pregnant, it knows that it has to build within a certain time. The urgency with which they're building. They did not go to a maternity home where a doctor took an ultrasound scan and told them what date is your delivery. They just know it's coming. Always in time they build, always in time. There is a very deep sense of intelligence in life, especially if you get pregnant. Life is phenomenal intelligence. Pregnancy is double intelligence. But unfortunately, for most people, this pregnancy happens unconsciously, probably unlovingly, not necessarily, but probably. If it only happened consciously, lovingly, all women should become minimum 100% more intelligent by the time they're done with their pregnancy actually. Because what's happening in the system is a phenomenal process. But almost every woman on the planet has missed it, almost. There are a few who have accessed that intelligence. When you come to Devi, if you want to have a taste of Bhairavi, you need devotion. Devotion means you are not a conjuice, you're full of juice. Everything in you is flowing out all the time. Every moment, everything that can ooze out of you is oozing out of you. Nothing is held back. That's a devotee. A devotee is seeing how to expend his life as rapidly, as fully as possible. Not somebody who is trying to conserve life, not somebody who is planning to live tomorrow, somebody who is living now, absolutely. So he is so absolute that he loses need for any company. He loses need for this or that. He is the way he is not because he is useless, because he is choiceless. So to move from compulsiveness to choice is evolutionary, but to move from choice to choicelessness is revolutionary. This is the silent revolution of realization, that you're moving from choice to choicelessness, not compulsiveness, choicelessness. Choicelessness is a natural state for a devotee. When you're ecstatic within you, what are you going to choose? Only when you're miserable, you have a choice with life. If you're absolutely ecstatic, there is no choice about life. There's only one way to be, there is no other way to be. A devotee is not seeking truth. A devotee is not trying to unravel the mysteries of life. For him, life and existence is not a problem. It is only for a thinking person that existence is a problem and he has to solve it. A devotee is not seeing existence as a problem. He is just part of it. He's melted partially, at least. You know? Oh, see, he's become like this. You can make it round, you can make it square, you can make it whatever you want. You can make it liquid and make it flow, you know? If I just do certain things with this right now, this mercury will become liquid once again and flow all over the place, but you won't be able to pick it up, so I won't do it If you do certain things right now in my hands, it will become liquid. A devotee is like this. You see, you just wait for some time, it will harden in such a way it's harder than steel. I want you to be here in devotion. She's feminine. Even she is a fool for love. If you're here as a devotee, she will yield and serve you in a million different ways, in ways that you cannot understand. But you try to understand her, you try to grab her, you try to get her, there is no way. She has very fierce and hideous forms too attached to her. You have seen some of them, haven't you, in your life? So, in the garbha that we right now just inserted behind Devi, there is a… you must have noticed, there is a randra, there's a tube running through. This is the rasa randra. This needs to be done and we are way beyond time. Will you remain in devotion or dissolution? Will you go into dissolution and oblivion or devotion? Devotion. I heard you, all right. So what you're witnessing is a miracle because according to modern chemistry, you cannot solidify mercury. At room temperature, it's just impossible to do it. Mercury is supposed to be poisonous. For thousands of years, the Indian alchemy has solidified mercury. Not only solidified mercury, yogis and siddhas have always consumed mercury.
भैरवि शाम्भवि चन्द्रमौलिरफला अपर्णा उमा पार्वती काली हैमवती शिवाग्रनयनी कात्यायनी भैरवी सावित्री नवयौवना शुभकरी साम्राज्यलक्ष्मीप्रदा चिद्रूपी परदेवता भगवती श्रीलिङ्गभैरवी भैरवी मोहिनी देवता त्रिभुवनी आनन्दसन्दायिनी वाणी पल्लव पाणि वेणुमुरली गानप्रिया लोलिनी कल्याणी उडुराजबिम्बवदना धूम्राक्षसंहारिणी चिद्रूपी परदेवता भगवती श्रीलिङ्गभैरवी भैरवी रौद्रिणी भद्रकाली बगला ज्वालामुखी वैष्णवी ब्रह्माणी त्रिपुरान्तकी सुरनुत ते दीप्यमानोज्ज्वला चामुण्डा श्रितरक्षपोषजननी दाक्षायणी वल्लवी।
What we are doing here is, this is referred to as the Somarandra. Soma means the juice of ecstasy. There are only two ways to live, either ecstatic or entangled. If you're entangled, you go on living. If you're ecstatic, you anyway live. Otherwise, you'll always wonder, why the hell are you alive? This is the ecstatic passage of hers. We are right now establishing the ecstatic part of the Devi, which is a very essential aspect of her, that she's not just fierce, she's ecstatic.